Okay, so now that we understand perpendicular bisectors, we can go ahead and try problem 1. So the question says, what is the length of QR? So we see that these two sides are the same. So that means SQ is bisecting PR. And we see that it's at a right angle, so that we can make the assumption that PQ and QR are equal to each other. So then all we have to do is just use algebra and set them equal to each other. So 3n minus 1 equals 5n minus 7. The first step we're going to do is we're going to combine like terms. So I'm going to move the 3n over here by subtracting it so that I have negative 1 equals 2n minus 7. I'm going to go ahead and move the negative 7 by adding it to the other side. So then I have 6 equals 2n. It's pretty easy to split up the 2 and the n because we're going to divide by 2 so that we have 6 divided by 2 equals n. 6 divided by 2 is, of course, 3. And then the question wasn't what is n, but rather what is QR. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it back in. Let's see, QR was this length right here, although this length would be the same, so whichever is easier for you. So we're going to have 5 times 3 minus 7. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 minus 7 equals 8. So the length of QR equals 8. Let's go down here. What's the relationship between MB and JK? Well, it's equal on both sides, so it's a bisector. It's a 90-degree angle, so it's perpendicular. It seems pretty straightforward to me. These are perpendicular bisectors. Or if I wanted to write it specifically, I could say MB is the perpendicular bisector of JK. All right, find JM. Again, we're just going to set them equal to each other. So I'll come back over here. Notice that take note that it's still going to have to calculate it, but it shouldn't be too very difficult. So 9x minus 18 equals 3x because they're going to be equal. Let's solve for x. So let's go ahead and subtract 9x and put it on that side. So I have negative 18 equals negative 6x divide by negative 6 on both sides. So negative 18 divided by negative 6 equals x, which equals 3, right? Because those are both negative, so the answer should be positive, which of course makes sense because if it was negative, we might have an issue. But we can pretty simply then, I don't know about you, but this looks like a pretty easy calculation to me, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I know that MK is the same as JM, and MK equals 3 times 3, which equals 9. So I know that JM equals 9.